I just want to talk a little bit about designing smarter with AI, especially in Figma, because I know a lot of us just live in it. I live in it day to day. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about what I have done to optimize my workflow, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and then kind of I'll offer an opportunity for you guys to ask some questions. But just for a little bit of background on me, so at heart, I'm a product designer, but I also am a founder. I do a couple of different things. I currently go to Purdue. So at Purdue University, I run the startup ecosystem. So I also help mentor other startups, help them get ready for funding, and just help build product, get customers, get revenue, a lot of those things. I've also been building with generative AI since early 2021. My co-founder and I, we got access to GPT-3 in late 2020 when it was like a closed beta. So over a year before ChatGPT came out. So we've been building with this tool for quite a while. We know the ins and outs. We've also seen the entire industry just evolve pre-hype, post-hype. We're still in the hype, trying to figure out exactly where the value is. So yeah, and also one of the cool things I just wanted to share this, we built an AI music station, one of the first ones we launched in like March 2022. Within a month, we got like 12,000 active listeners because it was like first to market. So it was a lot of fun. But I have also built and designed a lot of products across verticals. Ranging from like consumer marketplaces, building marketing SaaS tools, consumer entertainment, the music station, ed tech tools, just a lot of different things. And so I have gotten a fairly good understanding of just general value, both on the customer side, but also as a designer, where to build. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just like the product design side of things, and then also doing the handoff to development and what we have done to kind of help optimize that a little bit and show you some cool stuff. So specifically with product design, there's 3 areas that I have found to be incredibly helpful. In terms of making the actual mockups, you still need a designer to do all of that, and AI can't actually like do those just yet well enough, besides just giving you a template cookie cutter thing. So there are 3 things that really help me when I want to do things. So first one is generating icons. There's a really cool tool that I'm going to show you guys that can generate SVGs just straight from text, which is pretty awesome. Also helping you do some copy for whether it's your app, landing pages, whatever it may be. And then on top of that, generating images, whether it's placeholder text, general artwork, whatever it may be for marketing promos. I know a lot of groups around SF use this for a lot of their just content. So it's been pretty awesome. So the 3 tools that I use mainly is one, Diagram. If you guys don't know what Diagram is, they are an AI design company recently acquired by Figma. So they're starting to do a lot more integrations with a lot of the Figma tools. And so I'm going to show you guys one of their tools because the other ones don't work just yet. On top of that, for generating like UX copy, I use something called Frontitude. It's actually been incredibly helpful just having versatility. And the plugin is just really, really awesome. And then last but not least, anything that is not icons or copy, I use OpenAI for everything. Like even if I just run out of ideas and I'm like, I don't even know what feature I want to build, I can just ask ChatGPT. Really, really helpful for that. So yeah, these are the 3 main tools that I use. I'm going to kind of go through a really quick demo, just giving you guys like a walkthrough of my workflow. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm like, this is just a demo app, but let's just say I'm working on like a fitness app. It's like generating customized workouts, whatever it may be. And so, you know, when I open up the app, I want to like work on some sort of onboarding or showcase some of the features. I don't really know what icons I want to use for just showcasing these features in just a visual way. So what I'll do is I'll go to this icon on the top. Usually it has components, plugins, widgets. You click on the plugins and you go down to Magician, or if you can't find it, just search it. That's the tool made by Diagram. If you go down the drop down, you'll see that there's 3 options: Magic Icon, Magic Copy, Magic Image. Unfortunately, Magic Copy and Magic Image don't work, even though they shipped it. So I'm only going to show you guys Magic Icon. It is actually really, really cool. So I'll just leave it off to the side. I know it's kind of small, so I'll be doing a voiceover. Basically, all you have to do, it's very simple, just like how you use ChatGPT. You just type in a prompt of what you would like, and then it'll generate an SVG. So for this first feature, it's a customized fitness plan. So I'm thinking like workout weights might be a good icon. So I can just click generate after I type it. And then you are presented with 4 options. It takes a while to make those vectors. But as you can see, some pretty cool options. And if you don't like it, all you can do is just click enter again and you're good to go. So I actually kind of like this one. So then it turns it into a vector and it gets added. So what's awesome about this, I'll put it off to the side. What's awesome about it is that because it's an actual vector, you can edit it and kind of make all your adjustments. It's actually really, really helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put it into the color scheme, copy it over, add it into here. And then I'm going to just make some edits because I want it to look pretty. Cool. So there you go. That's just one icon that we can do. So now let's just say for the next one, I want to just do videos. I'll keep it really simple. I just want to have an icon. And again, if it's not available just on a standard like UI library, or if you want to make your own custom designs or have your own aesthetic, it's really, really simple. Diagram has done a really good job at just doing this and being able to do this at scale, which is pretty awesome. And so again, does the exact same thing. You can just add it to wherever you would like. Then hopefully 3 files and let's test it for cool. So that's basically how this works. I'm not going to do the last one just for time's sake, but this is just a really cool tool, really been helpful for me, especially when I want versatility, or like I use SF symbols all the time for getting my icons, and SF symbols doesn't have everything that I want. So this is just a really nice alternative. So yeah, now moving on to just generating copy, there's talking a little bit about Frontitude. Again, you do the same thing. You just type in Frontitude and it'll say like it's the UX writing assistant. You launch it. And this plugin is actually really nice because if you just select any sort of text that you already have written, it'll auto-populate into the box. And so what you can do is you can say, hey, this is like good, but I want to make it a little bit longer. I want to expand it. And what is this element? Well, I can just select, let's see, this might be like an input placeholder. And then I want to have it like be sentence case. Or if I want to do something custom, I can type in like a custom prompt of whatever I would like. But I think this is just good enough for now. So if I just click rewrite, it'll take a second and it'll give you a bunch of suggestions for just copy. And I could just do just slight little improvements. And it's been really helpful for me just having some versatility. So I can just like click one and it automatically gets updated into your mockup, which is pretty awesome. So kind of along these lines, you can see that a lot of these tools are just really, really helpful for being able to just not have to spend as many brain cycles on this. It's just conserving. You can spend most of your time just working on the overall UI, thinking about these things. So that's a little bit about the icons and then the text. So now jumping over to images, I use ChatGPT. The GPT store just launched today. So now like everyone should have access to this if you use ChatGPT Plus. But basically you can just explore all these different GPTs that people have made. So I'm just going to use the DALL-E one because it's really convenient. So for example, since this is a workout app and I'm doing like high intensity interval training, I'll just say like make an image of a person working out. Make an image of a person working out, high intensity interval training. And then I'll probably say like photorealistic and 8K, just to like add a little bit more pizzazz to the image. And then almost instantly, DALL-E just creates the images, and you're usually given 2 options, which is pretty convenient just in case, or you can just keep regenerating over and over until you get the one that you like. And this is just kind of like prompting. Basically, if you just figure out what the style that you're looking for, you just need to add more modifiers. So at the end, I put photorealistic in 8K. So not super photorealistic, but I think it's good enough for this demo. So I can just click download, get saved into my folder. So when I go over to Figma and I want to add my image to this frame, I can just go back, pick the image, and then we're good to go. So pretty awesome way just to have just good examples of all of these things. So another tool that Diagram has is called Automator. It's actually super cool because you can set up different automations and you can have custom shortcuts pre-made on your behalf for different things. So I have the sample app that I made. I can go into plugins, I can find Automator, I can just launch it, and you can make as many automations as you want. So say you have a bunch of actions, you get access to a lot of different elements within Figma. So there's layers, you can like have it automatically create a frame, you can insert an SVG, you can group selections, do a bunch of these automations and basically make an entire flow on your behalf. This is like really, really cool. Very, very helpful. And you can have you can convert an element that you made into a component. You can insert instances, whatever it may be. So I'm just going to show you guys the one that I already made, which is generate a style guide. So I've been working, I already have some local styles. I just click the automation and it already just writes everything down and just has something really quick that I can make. And I can even add a way to even include the hex codes if needed. That's just another parameter to be added. So this is just a really nice, cool tool to help have some more macros at your availability. So that's mainly the things that I use for just my day-to-day workflow, which have been pretty awesome. So I want to show you guys one more thing to go back to my deck. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome, but I like to think of myself as like an end-to-end AI person. So from product design to development to marketing, I want to automate as much of the busy work as possible. So one of the big things that we as designers do is we have to hand it off to our dev team, usually. So what does that look like? How can we do this? How can we make this a little bit easier? Well, there's actually some really cool tools just built into ChatGPT. So going back to ChatGPT, there are actually a lot of GPTs that are already built. The one I'll show you guys is Swift GPT. You can just ask it. It has all the data from the entire Swift UI library and all the documentation. And you can just ask it prompts and it'll give you native components and the code for it automatically. So for this example, I'm gonna take a mockup that I made over here. This is just a little settings page. So I'll do Command-Shift-C to copy it as a PNG. I'll go back over to Swift GPT. I'll paste in this image, and then I will basically say, convert this Figma mockup into Swift UI code. Please use native components. Just to like add it on, just to make it extra good. So now we'll just wait for a little bit. And what you will actually see, pending the Wi-Fi, is that it will start just writing code for you. And it'll walk you through the entire process as well. Now, this is just basic Swift UI code. And obviously Swift UI is like one of the easiest languages to do coding with. But this is so helpful even for me just to get a basic foundational system that I could just send over to the dev team and make these small iterations as needed. So yeah, let's let this play out a little bit. As you can see, it even does like navigation links. It does a lot of the styling on your behalf. It even tells you like things that you need to do because it just did the boilerplate information in the boilerplate code. So I already had one made, so I'll just use that one just for time's sake, if it can load. So I'll just copy this code over. I'll open it inside my Xcode preview. And okay, I do need to make the views. Shoot. Let's copy this one over. So when I have this one just made entirely by Swift GPT, boom, it makes an entire thing made on your behalf. And take a look at that. All the navigation links work entirely. And what's awesome is you can just go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a really good starting point. I wanted my icons to be, accent.orange, or I wanted to have it route to this thing. I want to modify this button. Now you can have an ongoing conversation with ChatGPT, but you have a really good starting point. And this has been really helpful for me. Now I can just hand this off to dev team and say, hey, here's the framework. Now go and attach endpoints, whatever backend needs to be done. And it makes things a lot easier. So that's just a little bit about my workflow, the things that I've been doing. So thank you so much. I want to open it up for any questions, but if you want to connect with me, my LinkedIn is here. More than happy to chat with any of you guys about just things in general, philosophy, AI, Apple, anything. So thank you so much. So Diagram actually does have something. They're working on it, and it's really iffy. It's like an alpha version, but along the same lines, if I go back here, I can go back to that plugin system. If you click just Magician and click Home, they have something called Magic Rename where they have layers where you can do it. It's very buggy and it doesn't always work, but there are a lot of companies that are working on this, and this is a priority. So I'm pretty sure at this config, we're going to see something along these lines. I've been doing this for like 9 months around that time. So really have optimized it, tried a huge number of tools, and these are the ones that just work the best. If all else fails, just use ChatGPT. It's just like such a good tool, especially if you have Plus. You can browse the web. You can just prompt it, just say like, hey, go look this up, go find it, and have it actively seek stuff out. And then the second thing that I would recommend is ask it to like repeat back the task that it's about to do, or it's saying like, hey, I want you to go and do this. What is the information that you need from my end to help you do this faster? So just that little tweak in prompting makes my entire workflow a lot easier as well. So I'm an Apple fanboy. So this is Keynote. So Apple's default presentation software. They have a lot of templates. So I'll just swipe back. Sorry for the motion blur. But in the side, they have these either standard or dynamic backgrounds. And so if you click dynamic backgrounds, they have a lot of different color options. Like there's like a wave, different things. So I use this for all of my decks. It's really pretty. So, and everyone always gives me compliments about this, but I do absolutely no work. It's all pre-made, but you can do as much editing as you want. So yeah. I think one of the things that I have just instinctively learned is like understanding design limitations for developers, like using Swift if I want to build an iOS app, like what are the limitations, things that just the developers won't be able to do in a certain amount of time. But we have built a system where essentially I do mockups like over a weekend. On Monday morning, we just do a critical design review, sit down with the dev team, talk about everything, all the features, functionality, and then they start going in just like by themselves, talking about different endpoints, things that need to be built. They plug in their bullet point list or basically their meeting notes into ChatGPT, then they just write the code. And if the code says that it can't do something, then they'll come back to me and say, you need to modify this. This is not really working or anything. So we basically, as much as we can, we offload it to ChatGPT, and it minimizes the amount of like feedback points that we have. I'm not totally confident on it, but there is a tool that I'm still playing around with, so I'm not going to like advertise it just yet, that they can do localization for like a variety of languages just automatically. You just upload, I think, just the Xcode project, and then you can start to localize it to whatever language you're interested in. That's still like a work in progress. That's more of a dev thing. But I totally agree with you. I think there's just tools that are still going to be built. And I think we're going to start seeing this, especially this year, of a lot of these sticking points for, even just changing from phone to tablet, from tablet to desktop, whatever it may be, being able to have that flexibility. So I know like Framer for landing pages, they have their Framer AI, which automatically has different sizing options available when you just have it, when you prompt it. But we just got to keep looking out for different tools. Honestly, I think what's interesting is I use Bing for that situation, Bing Chat or Microsoft Copilot, whatever that is. Basically, I talk about like this user profile or the user profile that I might have in my head of what might be interesting. And then basically it'll start giving me links by default of places that I could reach out to, or different Facebook groups, Reddit forums, whatever it may be. And it gives really good recommendations. And because they cite everything, it makes things so much easier. So I get those hyperlinks just given to me. So it makes the research process a little bit easier. I have a feeling that, especially with like, in my personal opinion, like those type of merch based options is sort of like low hanging fruit when you can just slap an image onto like a sweater and then be able to sell that at a premium. I think the real value is going to be when essentially you can build like a Shopify competitor where you just have one storefront that automatically routes to all of these different like micro stores. And now you can just use AI to do the routing, also do the generation, do the personalization. And so if there is a company out there, I'd love to talk to you guys about, doing from the Shopify end all the way to the manufacturing, working with like whoever is a distributor for like Alibaba or Temu, that infrastructure, like that is definitely something that can be worked on. And I think that is like $1 billion idea. So if anyone's working on it, I'd love to talk. I think there's two things that I've been really thinking about when it comes to AI is that ChatGPT, like it's a really powerful tool, but it doesn't know when it doesn't know something. So it'll just hallucinate, right? And so that's like a big problem is an AI being able to tell you that I don't know, because like a human, we can do that very well. So thinking about that. And then the second thing is teaching AIs how to prompt humans. So one of my friends, they're working on something, they call it Spooky. It's essentially called the human API. Like how do AIs prompt humans and create a good flow in the reverse? So they're working on something really cool. So these are really good questions and a lot of people are working on these things. So excited to see what happens. Not yet, but I'm very curious because like I was actually talking about this with a friend yesterday, is like once you're at the stage where you can like actually like seriously focus on like ADA compliance, you are like set, you are funded, you're like good. But a lot of people don't like to focus on it. And I think that is like a really valuable thing to have like accessibility settings built into everything. And I know like Swift, they like have the dynamic type sizes and things like that that you can conform to. But again, another really cool startup idea that I'd love to help contribute on, but it's just time will tell. I haven't seen anything yet. We have used like Stable Diffusion. We've used Midjourney. We actually built our own image generating engine. We called it Galileo. We've built everything. And I think the easiest thing is when it's like just API callable and you don't have to run your own servers. Because for us, we were burning 10 grand a month just on hosting all of these different functionalities. Like we were doing a whisper clone, like for speech to text, image, text to image, whatever it may be. So I think, especially if you're working on building just an MVP, trying to get your product shipped into market, just leverage APIs until you can build the infrastructure yourself. And I think just build a data moat will be really valuable.